So we begin by lighting our unity candle. We light this candle each week, representing that flame of the divine that's within each and every one of us. We know that the light of God surrounds us, the light of God enfolds us, and the light of God flows through us. And so we remind ourselves of that as we begin our service, that it's all God and it's all good. Join me for our opening prayer. As we pause and turn within, we are grateful that we are aware Spirit is always waiting for our attention. And we turn our attention to that divine presence within ourselves right now, recognizing that that one power, one presence throughout the universe is also within each and every one of us. And as we turn our attention to that power, we have confidence that today is the day that Spirit speaks to us and Spirit has a message for each of us. And so we open our hearts, we open our minds, and we welcome the divine infinite wisdom that flows to us in this moment. I know this time is sacred. I declare it as so. And I bless this service. I bless Kim as our speaker today and all that unfolds in such perfection. With overflowing joy, I release my word, knowing that it is accomplished now, and we seal it by saying together, and so it is. Welcome to the Louisville Center for Spiritual Living. I'm Reverend Rick McCollum, and I am going to share a slide with you this morning to remind you that we are an inclusive community, that we honor all paths to God, and we recognize that there are many different ways for people to have an experience with the God of their understanding. So we want you to know that wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you're welcome here with us. And we're glad that you've joined us today. And I will give you a quick reminder right now. This is the last Sunday that we're using this particular Zoom link. So know that you need to connect with the new Zoom link that we will have starting next Sunday. We'll have a new Zoom link for entering our service, and that will be in your e-blast. So watch for that. And make sure you start using that next Sunday. And now our opening song from the children at the Clarksville Elementary School in Clarksville, Indiana. We Are the World.
There comes a time when we hear certain call, when the world must come together as one. Dying, and it's time to lend a hand to life, the greatest gift of all. We can go on pretending day by day that someone somehow will soon make a change. We are all a part of God's great big family. Truth
And now we move to our spiritual reading and our meditation by Tammy, who is our practitioner of the day.
Thank you, Reverend Rick. Kim's talk today is the soul's call to freedom. And I heard that last Wednesday, and I was, oh, that's pretty wonderful. I believe in synchronicity, and freedom is the purpose of my treatment in class. So how wonderful is that? And then I found next month's guide, July 4th, I'm reading Freedom to Be, all for Kim. So, freedom is not the right to live as we please, but the right to find how we ought to live in order to fulfill our potential. Ralph Waldo Emerson. The freedom which the all-creative wisdom has designed for man is marvelous beyond human perception. Ernest Holmes, This Thing Called You. Freedom means different things to different people, but basically it is the power or right to act, speak, or think as we want without hindrance or restraint. When we talk about the various freedoms we enjoy in the United States, we're often referencing our constitutional rights: freedom of religion, freedom of speech, and freedom of the press. Quite simply, freedom gives us the right to choose the life we want to live. In a spiritual context, freedom means all those things and so much more. As incarnations of the one mind, our freedom to choose plays out on a much grander scale. After all, our oneness with all that is means we have an entire universe of possibility available to us. It's sometimes difficult to wrap our brains around what it means to be free, to embrace the infinite, and even more incredibly, what it means to have it embrace us back. Oh yes, did I forget to mention that? The universe roots us on every step of the way. And as a bonus, spirit does not judge or reward one person more than another. Ultimately, only we get to choose how to express our freedom. We are always free to make decisions that empower us, but we are equally free to embrace choices that do not serve us. When we intend wholeness and align with spirit, we liberate ourselves from painful missteps and lay the foundation for a richer, more satisfying life. The affirmation is, I am a free spirit, and the source of my power is the God within. Thank you. Now, meditation. I'm always nervous about meditation, but I'm going to do something different today. This is from The Science of Mind, which I hope you all have all studied at one time or another. And on page 507 starts Ernest's meditation for self-help and healing. And that's what I'm going to share with you all today. There's a lot of them. They're small, but I'm going to share a few. And I will start with, in these short meditations, I have tried, oh, these are all written by Ernest, in case I didn't say that. In these short meditations, I have tried to set forth some ideas which my experiences in mental healing have given me. I have found that a few brief statements, mentally affirmed, followed by a silent meditation, have been most effective in the healing work. Most of these meditations have been written in the first person in order that those using them may be able to do so just as they are written. So I'm going to start the first one, and then I'll have a little pause before the next. Come and let me heal you. Come and I will heal you. The inner power of life within me is God, and God has all power. I will heal and help all who come to me. I know that the realization of life and love within me heals all who come into its presence. I silently bless all who enter my atmosphere. It is not I, but the Father who dwelleth in me. He doeth the works. I heal all who come near me. No weariness. There is no weariness. Mind and spirit do not become tired nor weary, and I am mind and spirit. The flesh cannot become weary, since it has no mind of its own. I am free from all illusions of weariness. My whole being responds to the thought of life. I am alive with the great vitality of the spirit. I am alive with spirit. Happiness and completion. I am happy and complete today and forever. Within me is that which is perfect and complete. It is the spirit of all life, truth, and action. I am happy in the certain knowledge of this inner light. I cannot be sad nor sorry, but must radiate joy in life, for life is within me now. I am happy and complete. Here and now, perfection is already accomplished. Perfection is already accomplished. You just got to love that, Ernest. I am that perfect life here and now. Today, I express the limitless life of all good. Today, I manifest my completion in every part of me. Today, I am saved. Here and now, I am healed. Thank you all for sharing this time with me. I hope you enjoyed Ernest's words. They're pretty great. And namaste. And remember, please, all of you, you are magnificent.
Thank you, Tammy. And now we move to our special music for today. And today we are going to hear Kit Holmes, and she is going to sing for us. And it's called Hold You in the Light.
It's in your eyes, the questions of the ages. There are challenges and changes in everything you see. It's hard to trust, and sometimes the best of us can lose our way. That's why I'm here to say, I'm gonna hold you in the light, hold you in the light, hold you till you know again that everything's alright. And I'll remind you, as you are enough. I'm gonna hold you in the light of love. It's in your eyes, the questions of the ages. There are challenges and changes in everything you see. It's hard to trust, and sometimes the best of us can lose our way. That's why I'm here to say, I'm gonna hold you in the light, hold you in the light, hold you till you know again that everything's alright. And I'll remind you, as you are enough. I'm gonna hold you in the light of love. It's in your hands. There are angels in the answers. Choose your second chances. This is where you're meant to be. Don't second guess. Life will give you all the happiness that you deserve. Rest assured, I'm gonna hold you in the light, hold you in the light, hold you till you know again that everything's alright. And I'll remind you, as you are enough. I'm gonna hold you in the light of love. I'm gonna ask you to remember that you have everything you need. Every time you look into a mirror, 'cause no matter where life finds you, the light of love surrounds you. You'll always have the only words you'll ever need to hear. I'm gonna hold you in the light, hold you in the light, hold you till you know again that everything's alright. And I'll remind you, as you are enough. I'm gonna hold you in the light. I'm gonna hold you in the light, hold you in the light, hold you till you know again that everything's alright. And I'll remind you, as you are enough.
sorry the words didn't work for that. I had them all fixed and they worked perfectly until this morning. It's the way it goes sometimes. I love that song, Holding in the Light of Love. And so now it's my distinct pleasure to welcome Kim Bibeau, who is going to be bringing our message today. And if you missed our announcement last week, Kim has graduated from the Holmes Institute and School of Spiritual Leadership. So she has just a little bit more to finish up, a few more hoops, and she will be licensed as a minister with Centers for Spiritual Living. So Kim, welcome. Thank you for being here, and she's going to be talking about the soul's call to freedom today.
Thank you, Reverend Rick. It's a pleasure to be here. I found this talk to be interesting and a little bit difficult, but it finally came together, and I'm pleased to share it with you. The soul's call is deeply intimate. It's incredibly challenging, very powerful, and it works every day in our lives. And as any one of us awakens, it affects everyone. It evolves everyone into their own light of love, into their own soul's call. In his book, 7,000 Ways to Listen, Mark Nepo writes about the soul's calling and the call of the soul. We need both of these callings and calls, yet each is ever present and elusive. The soul's calling allows us to find and discover our life's work. The continuous call of the soul is calling one to recognize and be aware of the aliveness within and without. They are much like doing and being. What is at the center, the heart of the soul's call? Are we reaching for the light of fulfillment of our purpose, to be free in our expressions of ourselves that bring freedom into our lives? We will live in the aliveness of our soul. These calls are happening day in and day out. They are necessary for the life and expression of the individual. Is there freedom in being visible as part of the soul's call? I bet you never even thought about that. I didn't. If we stay invisible all our lives, meaning no one sees us, we make no impact. I don't mean that we don't want to draw attention to ourselves, but that one does not stifle either their voice or their presence. You see, being invisible not only can't be seen, but we cannot see. It limits our vision, and our vision is what we are most able to look within, to see what is in front of us and what is present in the now. Have you ever been trapped in the past hurts, thoughts, or emotions? We can learn from these past experiences and not get trapped by them. We do not need to run down the rabbit hole with those feelings. It is not how we want to be. We bring ourselves back into the now, moment by present moment, remembering that those fleeting emotions that happened then are not in this now. Or you can allow those old feelings to affect your now. There is freedom in letting go of our limitations, letting go of the story, the old story that no longer serves us. In our statements of principle, Ernest Holmes talks about freedom and bondage. It is not God who holds us in bondage. It is our own limitations that we seem to always kind of fight for. So am I fighting for my limitations, or am I letting go of my limitations in the light of my good, in letting go of the limitations that have held me, held us all in some way or another? I have a story to tell on myself, and it's probably a little longer. I did cut it down, but it's probably a little longer than we're used to. But it talks about some of the limitations that we impose on ourselves. I remember a time, and I remember it very clearly because of the effects. You know, those silly smoke detectors, and they seem to never go off in the daytime, or at least we don't hear them in the daytime. Well, 9 o'clock at night on a Sunday, mine started chirping. My furry friends did not like the chirping. So I decided to get a ladder, change it right now. Don't wait till the morning, just do it. Well, it's one that you have to be really, really careful how you put up. It's, you know, one of those A-frame kind of things. And I must have not set it up properly. Now, I've had it for years and years and years, always made sure I set it up, but I did not. I got to the second rung and it went flat, and I went flat on top of it. I was bruised down the whole of my body. My foot got injured, and it took 6 months for my foot to heal on the outside, and more than a year to be able to walk decently again. And I can't believe I'm telling this story once again, but it took 3 years for me to stop telling this story every time somebody saw me limp or I was in pain that day. And one day I finally realized that story was not allowing me to heal completely. I kept bringing it up in my mind and speaking it into the room over and over again until I finally realized what I was doing. I needed to change my story. And I had learned the lesson about the ladder. Be very careful how you set it up before you step onto it. But I had not learned about the pain and the embarrassment that I felt that I had done something, what I considered at the moment kind of dumb. And it's amazing to me what the embarrassment does to a story that repeats and repeats day to day, lifetime to lifetime, even maybe from past lifetimes of our ancestors. That was some rabbit hole. I now catch myself telling other stories, not letting go, limiting myself in many beliefs in my expression of who I am and how I want to be. So when this title, The Soul's Freedom, came and was given to me to start researching what our founder, Ernest Holmes, had to say about freedom and the soul's call, I began at the very beginning of the Science of Mind textbook, where Ernest talks about freedom. He talked about it within the very first paragraphs, that freedom is the birthright of every living soul. We all feel this is true. It is true in the law. We as human beings are always pursuing ways to express ourselves in terms of freedom. And as Dr. Holmes writes about freedom in all persons, he also writes about that persons must discover for themselves what freedom is for them. They must learn to express who they are boldly and unapologetically as the incredible, perfect beings that they are. Our inner voices reveal the love and freedom beyond our wildest dreams, and this is what the soul craves. Freedom is the birthright of every individual. We are free to choose and create our experience of life. We humans were created with limitless possibilities and limitless freedom. God left us alone to discover our limitlessness. And freedom allows one to emancipate their life as they desire. To merely dream about freedom, to just imagine freedom, would never allow self-realization. In fact, self-expression, if it were not a part of freedom, would have more and more self-limitation. How have you ever been trapped in the past? Past hurts, thoughts, or emotions? We can learn from these past experiences and not get trapped by them, not run down the rabbit hole with those feelings that you just take with you. It's just not where we want to go. We bring ourselves back into the now moment, the present moment, remembering that those fleeting emotions that happened then are not in this now. Or can you allow those old feelings to affect your now, but recognizing that these things may have shaped your life and that you can change them for a clearer, more joyful now? If the doors of perception were cleansed, everything would appear to man as it is, infinite. For man has closed himself up sometimes till he sees all things through narrow chinks of his cavern. That is William Blake. We see a world in which every person lives in alignment with his or her spiritual principle, emphasizing unity with God and connection with each other. A world in which individually and collectively we are called to a higher state of consciousness and action. This is evolutionary vision, which is a statement from the CSL Global Vision from Home Office. The global vision that CSL has held, the Centers for Spiritual Living has held for a number of years now. And as the inner light dawns, it delivers the outer life from bondage. This is in line with teaching that everything is from within to out. When the soul knows freedom, the law will free the body, and the outer life will express health, happiness, and success. All things work for our good. Even that which we call evil is salutary, leading us to the way, the truth, and the life. Suffering should teach us a lesson, which would cause us to refrain from making more mistakes. It carries a blessing with it when we learn how to garner knowledge from science and from experience. And that is from The Science of Mind, page 485. Regardless of what anyone says, our unique gifts have a purpose. It is our responsibility to be ourselves. The more we express ourselves authentically, the more we inspire others to do the same. This is how we create a world that works for everyone. To be ourselves while showing unconditional love and acceptance for others who are expressing themselves authentically. We need to express ourselves first. We need to show ourselves unconditional love first. And then the acceptance that we feel for others will be allows them to express themselves authentically. We are to see that spirit creates all things, by the power of its own word, and that we spiritual beings, we are to hear that inner voice of truth, which is ever proclaiming the freedom of all life, the eternal unity of God with man. And we are really, the world is waiting for us to shift our consciousnesses in any way that moves forward, that allows us to see in this present moment the now that is us. Any challenges we've ever faced in our lives have prepared us for this moment. And now is the time to commit, to show up authentically, and choose to live the life we've always dreamed. The more of us who choose to live in that authenticity, the more we inspire others to do the same. And when we show unconditional love and acceptance to others, we are serving as an example. We want to see more unity, peace, and joy in the world. We have to commit to experiencing these qualities of our lives. And as Ernest Holmes, our founder, said, we are to see that Spirit creates all things by the power of its own word, and that we are spiritual beings. We are here to hear that inner truth, the voice of that inner truth, which is ever proclaiming the freedom of all life. And really, am I fighting for my limitations? Have I spent my life growing into the being that I am now to fight my limitations, to fight for them? We don't even fight our limitations. I mean, that happens on a daily basis. But to fight for our limitations is a whole nother aspect of limitations. Or am I letting go of my limitations in the light of my good, for my good? And I have a question to ponder. If I was living a life of freedom, if you were living a life of freedom, of the authenticity of who you are in your time, in this time and space, just think, maybe do a little visioning. How would your life look? I actually have a sentence, an affirmative sentence that I've been using lately because I have found myself fighting for my own limitations. Am I fighting for my limitations? Or am I letting go of my limitations in the light of my own good? And I totally believe that in looking and seeing those limitations that actually block our freedom of choice, our freedom of voice, our freedom of speaking and expressing in all the ways that we speak and express, really do allow the light of my good. And I'm so grateful for this time and this space. And then this may have been short, but it really has given me, and hopefully you, many things to ponder, many things to think about in what freedom means to us. And as we come into the summer holiday season of 4th of July and the freedom that has been given us through the time that is the United States. And what am I letting go of in my own limitations that may actually be limiting what is happening in the world around me? And how have I garnered those limitations, maybe through someone else's limitations, that hinders my vision of my freedom? And if you'll join me in a moment of prayer. In this moment, in this now, in this connection with God, with Spirit, knowing that all there is, knowing that in this one life there is God, the presence, the consciousness that surrounds us, that is in and through each and every one. And in that connection, there is freedom. There is love. There is joy. There is the peace that we all long for, the freedom that we long for, that is already ours in this now moment. And as all of those qualities of God are ours in this moment, God and I are one, and we are. And you, each and every one who is listening at this moment, seeing the faces of our beloved community in this very moment, are one with each other. It may seem as though there's a separation. There is not. We are connected. And I claim for each and every one of us in this now moment, in this time, and anyone who hears at a later date or sees this Zoom call, this call to freedom, the soul's call to freedom as part of our everyday lives, and shifting that consciousness that is what we get caught in. I am so very grateful for this time, for this space, for this love that I know happens in every single square of this Zoom call and every heart that is in the persons that are watching this. And I release this prayer into the loving arms of God, into the universe, to go out and be released into that universe. And if you'll join me in saying, and so it is. And thank you so much. It's been a lovely time to be with you all.
Thank you, Kim. I appreciate your message, and you're giving us challenges to think about in what freedom really looks like for us and what limitations are we fighting for in our life. Thank you. And now Tammy will give us our prosperity affirmation.
Thank you, Kim. That was a lovely talk. I took away several very good points. I thank you very much. Okay, prosperity affirmation. I'm sure that Pat's posted that on the chat, or Vernon, where to go, addresses to mail, places to go to. Yeah, right there. And we are so thankful that you share your prosperity with us, because it allows us to carry on Louisville Center for Spiritual Living, which is so important to us and to everybody, I hope. Anyway, I will say our prosperity affirmation for today, and then you all can repeat it with me. I have my basket right here. Pat thought I forgot, but I didn't. I have it right here. Okay, divine loves, blesses and multiplies what I have. Give and receive, yes. And if you'll share with me, divine love blesses and multiplies what I have. Give and receive, yes. Okay, into announcements. The first announcement today is that as your practitioner of the day, I want to remind everyone that your prayers, your thoughts, your needs are held with me all day today and all of this week. Even if we don't go to a breakout room or we're not in a group, you are with me. Always know that. Thank you. Okay, our first announcement. Coming July 1st, a new Zoom link to watch for. If you join us on Zoom through a link or a meeting ID you have saved or written down, as opposed to clicking on a link in our constant contact update, please note that next Sunday, July 3rd, there will be a new link in the updates that you want to save and or write down. Nothing else will change. So remember that. Also, our men's group via Zoom is Thursday, July 1st at 6:30 p.m. And really exciting news to announce. Beginning Wednesday night, July 7th at 7 p.m. via Zoom, LCSL's monthly spiritual connection begins. And Reverend Rick, do you have something to say for us?
I want to make sure that people are aware we'll be using the same Zoom link as our Sunday service. So it will be the new Zoom link that we're using, and we're going to give this a try and see how people respond to it. So the first Wednesday of each month, we'll be having at 7 p.m. on Wednesday a spiritual connection time. And it'll probably look different each week. So I'll introduce a topic and then we all get to discuss that. So it's not really a time where I'm teaching you everything, you get to teach me. So the first Wednesday of each month, and it will be at 7 p.m. And July 7th will be our first time. So that's not this coming Wednesday, but the following week will be into July then. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Rick. Thank you. Okay, so that's the end of announcements. And we go to our closing song.
Thank you, and that is Hallelujah Today.
Running till my bones are aching, pushing past the point of breaking. The road is long, but I will make it, that's who I am. It's not this race, but how I'm running, not who I was, who I'm becoming. Steady on, I'll finish strong on this path. Every breath every mile I'm reminded I never go empty-handed. God is my strength, I'm never stranded, I'm not alone. Call it out like a siren of good and peace and joy resounding. Hear me now, I'm ringing out around the world. Hallelujah. 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 Every breath in me proclaims hallelujah.
And now for our benediction. Know that as you go from this place, you go guided, guarded, and protected, for you are held in that divine embrace, and you are called to live a life of freedom, to be your authentic self, expressing that unconditional love, that unconditional peace and joy of spirit each and every day. Open yourself to the possibilities of life. Go forth and share with the world all that you have been given, because the world needs all the good you can do. I bless you in this week, and so it is.